Okay. Today we're going to talk about Section 3 of Chapter 2. The case is China Rare Earths 2014. Okay, would anyone please help me close the back door? Thank you. Now let's read the full title of the case. Is China measures related to the exportation of rare earths. Tungsten, not Kingston. Kingston is a manufacturer producing these discs, Kingston. But here it's tungsten. And what's this word? Molybdenum. Molybdenum. This B does not pronounce here. B, no sound. Molybdenum. Molybdenum. Okay. And the case number is WTDS 431, 432, and 433. Again, there are 3 cases. And there are 3 complainants, but there's only 1 respondent, China. The short title is like this: China Rare Earths. Look, the 3 complainants are three WTO members. Can we say 3 countries? What about the European Union? It is a WTO member, yet it is not a sovereign state. It is an intergovernmental organization. International intergovernmental organization. Precisely speaking, European Union is of course not a country, but it is a member of the WTO. Another question: do you think the WTO is still living, or it is already dead? I'll put it another way. Is WTO without the presence of the United States a WTO in the real sense? I don't think so. I think the current tariff war 2.0 has officially declared the demise of the WTO system. It's an unfortunate thing, but we have to face that. Like it or not, it is now dead. Okay. I hereby officially announce that the WTO is dead, although I'm not an official. Okay. Then, let's look at the summary of the dispute. The first step, as usual, the first step is consultations, right? And what's the complained measures of China, against China. The United States requested consultations with China with respect to regarding China's restrictions on the export of various forms of rare earths, tungsten and molybdenum. In Chinese, what's this? Tungsten. Wu, good. And this one? Mu. Okay, Wu, mu. Good. I still have no idea about the difference between raw materials and rare earths. What's the difference between the two? Which one has a broader scope, in your opinion? Raw materials has a larger scope than that of rare earths. Do you think so? I suppose it's like this. Actually, these two cases share one same subject. Both cases involve or concern the restrictions on the export of something, right? No matter it's raw materials or rare earths. The restrictions on the export of those things. The request refers to materials, raw materials, falling under but not limited to 212 8-digit Chinese customs commodity codes and over 30 measures. Over 30 measures. Okay. Customs commodity codes. 海关产品代码 HS code. HS stands for harmonized system. Okay. Actually, each and every product for export has an 8-digit HS code. Okay. 每一样出口的产品都有一位8位数的海关代码。Look at this paragraph, and think about this question. What are China's export restrictions composed of? Again, I repeat the question again. What are China's export restrictions composed of? I mean, the export restrictions include what? Yes. These restrictions include export duties, number one. Number two is, I will invite somebody to read this sentence, okay? You're the lucky dog to read these restrictions.
These restrictions include export duties, export quantities, minimum export price requirements, export licensing requirements, and additional requirements, and procedure in connection with the administration of the quantitative restrictions.
Please sit. I do not like to say, but it is a disaster. Listen carefully. These restrictions include export duties, export quotas, minimum export price requirements, export licensing requirements, and additional requirements and procedures in connection with the administration of the quantitative restrictions. Quantitative. This is an American way of pronouncing this one. Quantitative. Because American people like to read T-A-T-I-V like tative. For another example, I'll give you another example. Quality. Then how to read this one? Quantitative, qualitative, qualitative. Yeah. Believe it or not, you can look it up in your dictionary. I must be the correct one. Qualitative. Okay. Then, maybe some of you be confused about when do we read duties or quotas or duties, quotas. How to distinguish these two pronunciations, two sounds. I'll give you a technique. Put your finger on your throat and try to pronounce T, T. Is it vibrating? I mean, moving? T, T, T. Yes, T. And that's its T, Z, Z. Yes. And what about this one? Is it vibrating here? Yes or no? No. Because there's no vibrations, and that's why we say it like a back. Have you found the difference? Okay, good. This one, restrictions or restrictions. Shen, shen, shen. Z. Okay. Okay, let's go on. The restrictions include 5 categories. 5 categories of measures. Moving on. Look at the words in red. On this date, Canada requested to join the consultations. Subsequently, China informed the DSB that it had accepted the requests of Canada, the European Union, and Japan to join the consultations. What's the role of Canada? As I mentioned just now, there are 3 complainants, yes? European Union, Japan, and the United States, right? Canada also joined the consultations, but why did it not become a complainant of this case? Why not? I don't know either. But I need to highlight your attention to this. Canada also joined the consultations. Okay. Now let's move on to look at the panel and appellate body proceedings. Similar to the case China raw materials, a single panel was established, a single panel to deal with 3 separate cases brought by US, EU, and Japan. How many cases are there in total here? How many? Huh? How many complainants? How many cases? 3. 3 case numbers. WTDS, okay? 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, okay. 3 cases, but with only 1 single panel. 1 single panel to deal with 3 separate cases. How? It's easy. Just a panel of 3 members, and all the complainants sit on the left hand, and the respondent sit on the right hand, just like that. Why? Because these 3 cases share 1 similar theme, right? 1 similar theme. You still got any memory of other appeal? What's other appeal? I explain it here, maybe. Okay? Other appeal, what does other appeal mean? Good. Cross appeal. Guess. China filed an other appeal in the same dispute. In the panel proceedings, is China a winner or a loser? Other appeal. She's right. You're right. Believe in yourself. Okay. China is a winner. That's why who appealed? The United States appealed. But for the sake of safety, right, China filed an other appeal. Okay. Good. Then, in the appellate body proceedings, in the appeal proceedings, a single appellate body division was established. What does that mean? Because you have no idea about the appellate body, so I will give you some additional knowledge about it. In the appellate body, it is a permanent or standing body. What does that mean? A permanent body. A standing body. Yeah. In Chinese, what's it called? It's called a 常设的. 常设的. Just like a standing member or a standing committee, 常务委员会, 常委. Permanent. But in this permanent body, it has 7 members or 7 judges. But in each case, only 3 of the 7 judges are selected or chosen to serve as an appellate body division to deal with specific cases. Got it? 3 of 7 will be selected to deal with separate cases. Look here, but a single division, just like the panel, right? There is a single panel involved. So here, there is a single appellate body division involved. Similar scenarios. The last sentence. The appellate body issued 3 appellate body reports in one single document. Again, another question. How many appellate body reports are there in total? Three. Apparently, it's a 3. 3 appellate body reports, but in one single document. You hold one single document, but it refers to 3 appellate body reports. Okay? Good. How many cases? 3. How many panels? 1. How many appellate body reports? How many panel reports? 3. How many appellate body division? How many appellate body reports? How many documents? Okay. Good. Moving on. We're talking about the reasonable period of time for implementation. In the end, in the appeal proceedings, is China a winner or a loser? Who's going to implement the rulings and recommendations? Who? China stated that it intended to implement the rulings and recommendations, which means China has lost the case. It has 8 months and 3 days to implement the rulings and recommendations from the date of adoption of the appellate body and panel reports. Okay. What are China's implementation measures? How did China implement the rulings and recommendations? How? How? The answer lies in this paragraph. Again, I will invite someone to read this paragraph for us. You are the lucky dog. Grasp this opportunity from D. B. Implementation of adopted reports.
At a DSB meeting on 20 May 2015, China informed the DSB that, according to notice by the Ministry of Commerce and the General Administration of Customs of China, the application of export duties and export quotas to rare earths, tungsten and molybdenum, as well as restriction on trading rights of enterprises exporting rare earths and molybdenum, which were found to be inconsistent with WTO rules, had been removed.
Sit. Here. Notice, but with an additional S, it changed into notices. Okay. And export duties, exporting, not export, no. And this one, again, where is the stressed syllable? I told you it's molybdenum, not moly. It's molybdenum. How to determine where to stress the syllable in a long word? I think I told you before. Yes? Yes? You have no idea? Okay, listen. Now let's count the syllables. 1. Yes or no? None. Yes. 2, right? 3, right? 4. 4 syllables, right? Here, stressed, molly, or molybdenum, or molybdenum, or molybdenum. If it's none, none. If it's stressed, then it's none. If it's stressed, then it's more. If it's stressed, then it's the, not the. But it is the stressed one. How to determine? Follow me. Okay. The first, the second, the third syllable from the last. Okay? That's the rule. 1, 2, 3. From the last will be stressed. That's why it's molybdenum. But that's just the general rule. Where there is a rule, there is an what? Where there is a will, there is a way, right? Where there is a rule, there is an exception. This is just the general rule. Again, another how to read this one. Trio. Where's Chua? One, 2, 3, here. Ministerial. When it's stressed, then t will be changed to d. Okay? Ministerial. I'm an English major. As I recalled, someone in this room, Zhao Yan. Yes? Is she here? Transferred from the foreign language department? No? 你们班没有一个叫那个的吗？从外国语学院转过来的，是不是你呀？不是你啊。Okay. How did China implement the rulings and recommendations? Which measures were removed? Had been removed? Which had been removed? Notices according to the notices, which means there are 2 notices issued by the Ministry of Commerce, 商务部, and the General Administration of Customs of China, 中国海关总署. General Administration of Customs of China. 这2个部门的通知分别发了通知。这2个通知，根据这2个通知，所有的 all the measures, the application of export duties, export quotas, as well as restriction on trading rights had been removed. That's how China implemented the rulings and recommendations of the DSB. For this slide, there is another question. what happened when the United States could not share China's assessment that it had fully complied with the DSB's recommendations and rulings. China said, yes, we've already implemented the recommendations and the rulings. But the United States thinks the opposite. It could not share China's assessment, disagreed with China's opinion that it had fully complied with the rulings. In Chinese, I'll explain it. 中国说它执行了裁决，对吧？但是美国认为你执行的不到位，你说你的执行，我认为没达到裁决要求的程度，然后美国会怎么办？或者什么会发生？发生了什么呢？ What happened when the United States disagreed with China that it had fully complied with the DSB's recommendations and rulings? The answer lies in this paragraph. China and the United States informed the DSB of agreed procedures under Articles 21 and 22 of DSU. Then, my next question would be, what are the procedures under Articles 21 and 22 of the DSU about? Now, please consult the text of DSU, Article 21 and 22, to see what are the measures about. Now, this course is about the dispute settlement. So at least you're suggested to, or you're expected to print out the DSU, okay? I think that's a convenient way for you to learn. Even you cannot print it out, you should always be able to locate the file and find the relevant content whenever you need it. Then what are Articles 21 and 22 of DSU about? We will talk about it next period. Okay. Take a break of 5 minutes. We'll come back later.